Luigi Mangione's likeness used to model shirt on Shein. Well, that's it, isn't it? First of all, he couldn't possibly have been the assassin. He was in China modeling for Shein. And second of all, that's it. We don't need satirical news anymore. Actual news is now just as ridiculous. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we're going to be taking a look at r/NotTheOnion. Apologies if I'm a little bit all over the place today. I'm currently recovering from a migraine that I got at about 1 AM last night, and also we had a apartment inspection today. It all went fine, but it was still, you know, anxiety inducing. So I'm all over the place today. Got a headache, I'm tired, I'm dying. It's gonna be a fun one. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention a couple things. First of all, I'll be live over at my Twitch in 2 hours as of this video going up, so please do come along as it's always a good time. And also YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. So if that's something that interests you, please do consider it, as it really helps support the channel. Other than that, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Just kill him! Fox hosts 6 suggestion for dealing with homeless spurs calls for his firing. Brian Kilmeade's suggestion for dealing with the homeless has social media calling for him to be fired. But why would Fox News fire him? This is exactly what they want. They want controversy, and they want ghoulish statements. The people that run Fox News are all ghouls. Why would a ghoul want another ghoul pushing their ghoul agenda to be fired? This is exactly what they wanted. And you know what? I'm talking about it, aren't I? I'm part of the problem. US open uproar. Polish millionaire I'm not even going to try and say his name, vanishes from social media after snatching child's signed hat. Polish millionaire and CEO is facing intense criticism online after a video showing him taking a signed cap intended for a young fan went viral. The incident unfolded as Polish tennis player Kamil, that guy, celebrated his thrilling 5-set win over 9th seed. Oh my god. However, Kamil later found the boy and personally delivered the hat, earning praises online. These kinds of things actually are crazy, but especially, so if you've seen the CEO's reaction to this, he doubled down. He didn't apologize at all and was saying things like, it's just a hat, guys. And it's like, okay, if it's just a hat, why did you steal it from a child? He deserved the criticism. He's a millionaire who stole a hat from a child. But also, when these kinds of things happen, the clubs and the sports people involved usually go out of their way to like make this better for, you know, the child that was robbed. You see it all the time in baseball when like someone steals a home run ball from a child and then the club rewards the kid with a bunch of merch and that kind of thing. Like, I appreciate at least that the child does get rewarded for it after someone's shitty to them. But yeah, this was just a whole crazy situation. Israel may defund own film awards after movie about Palestine wins top prize. Under Israel's protocol, The Sea, a film critiquing the country's occupation of Palestine, will automatically be put forth as its Oscar contender. Well, obligatory Israel statement right here. Just needs to be said. You know, they are bombing an entire nation. They are currently undergoing an entire genocide and basically claiming that it's just down to a terrorist organization. You can fight a terrorist organization. That's a thing that happens quite a lot. But bombing an entire country's citizenship over it, that's a war crime. Hot Mike captures Putin and ZOEY discussing organ transplants and immortality. As Putin and ZOEY walked towards a Tiananmen rostrum where they viewed the parade with Kim, Putin's translator could be heard saying in Chinese, "Biotechnology is continuously developing." You know, millionaires talk about immortality and extending their lives a lot. This isn't anything new. One of the co-founders of PayPal, alongside Elon Musk, is like convinced that blood transfusions are like the secret to immortality, that young blood, not the rapper, is the secret to immortality. But when dictators start discussing the same thing, start discussing trying to, you know, extend or infinitely extend their lifespans, it starts to become a bit more concerning, doesn't it? And when you see Putin, ZOEY, and Kim Jong-un all together at a parade discussing things like immortality and extending lifespans, it begins to become a little concerning. But maybe that's just me. Oregon man who won $5K a week forever in 2012 spent cash like he was set for life, but Publishers Clearinghouse went bankrupt. Now he might lose home. Why is it? Whenever people win massive amounts amounts of money. Every time it happens, it's someone who is just financially inept. Someone who is just completely financially illiterate, right? You see it all the time with the lottery. People win like tens of millions in the lottery and then blow it in a year. This dude had 5K a week forever, right? 5K a week. So how much is that? So how many weeks are there in a year? How many weeks in a year? 52 weeks. So what's 5 times 52? 260, right? So this guy, without working, was making 260K in a year, right? If he also works, he gets more. So you could continue working a job, right, for like 5 years. Say 5 years. Keep living within the means that you were living within. Change nothing about your lifestyle. And in 5 years, you've got 1.2 million saved up. Put that in a high yield saving account. The whole time you're saving, you'll have more than that in 5 years. And like since 2012, right? We're looking at 2012. That was more than 10 years ago. This guy could have multiple millions saved up in a high yield savings account. He could be living off the interest on that and never have to work again. That's his children's inheritance setup, you know? Like he could have already paid off his mortgage. He could be living in a house with no mortgage, which would mean far less rent to pay, living entirely off of interest, which is accruing more money than it costs him to live, right? But now he has nothing because he was just spending it all. Like, it's so frustrating to me. Samsung confirms its $1,800 fridges will start showing you ads. Ads will be displayed on your Samsung smart fridge when the cover screen is idle on certain themes. Great, loving that. I love that nearly $2,000 isn't enough for you to have a product that doesn't have ads. You spend $2,000 on a fucking fridge and they're still inserting ads into every facet of your life. They're charging nearly $2,000 for a fridge so that they can put ads in your home. Because charging $2,000 for a fridge isn't making them enough money that they don't have a reason to not put ads on. Like, it's BMW charging you for heated seats all over again. But now it's time for a cat break. Unwind for a second and look at some silly photos of my silly little children. Chill out for a second and relax. Now back to the video. RFK says agency will reveal causes of autism in September. So we have a week left of September as of recording this, and he hasn't said anything yet. I mean, we know the primary cause of autism. It's genetics. We do know that already, but something tells me that if he comes out with a statement about it, that's not what he's gonna say. Also, you can't put deadlines on studies. That's not how studies work. Like a research study where you're trying to figure out the cause of something, they don't have deadlines. The deadline is when we figure it out, because it's not a progress bar. This isn't a video game. But God, I can't wait for him to be like, the cause is pasteurized milk and red food coloring and vaccines, and I am in charge of the health of a country and I have no idea what I'm doing, you know? Only he'll sound way more out of breath like he's struggling to talk. Woody Allen says Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have been nicer at dinners. The veteran film director attended a number of dinners with the disgraced financier and illustrious people. There's a few things that he probably could have said that would have been a little less damning. Just a couple, but I mean, it kind of doesn't surprise me because Woody Allen's always been a little bit of a piece of shit. One of my favorite videos of Woody Allen is when he was interviewing, I believe she's called Twiggy, and he tries to embarrass her, right? He tries to be like, oh, look how smart I am and how stupid you are. So he's like, let's let's talk about, you know, real world things. Who's your favorite philosopher? And she can't name one because she doesn't have a favorite philosopher, because that's, you know, unless you're really interested in philosophy, that's most people don't. But she goes, oh, I don't know any. Who's yours? And he can't answer. He goes, oh, well, you know, I don't have one. I like all of them. And she goes, oh, well, choose one. And he can't. And it's the best moment, because this misogynistic asshole just completely got his own attempt at embarrassing someone thrown back in his face.
Who's your favorite philosopher?
I haven't got one. I don't know any. Who's yours?
Oh, I like them all.
Who?
All your basic philosophers.
Who?
Just all of them.
I don't know their names though. What are their names?
Army base used for World War II Japanese internment will be the nation's largest ICE detention center. Stewards of Japanese American history are calling out the use of Fort Bliss to detain immigrants. So, one of the United States' most covered up and yet most egregious cases of human rights violations, second to slavery, right, was the Japanese internment camps. American citizens, right, including American-born children who were legal citizens of the United States but happened to have Japanese heritage, were pulled from their homes, stripped of citizenship, and put in work camps. They were put in concentration camps. They were taken away from their families, who were also put in concentration camps. This is a real part of American history, is concentration camps for Japanese citizens, legal citizens of the United States who committed no other crime than being Japanese. They are now using those concentration camps to take immigrants, including legal citizens of the US, legal immigrants of the country, out of their homes, away from their families, and putting them in concentration camps. Have we learned nothing from history? Because apparently we fucking haven't. There's a really good graphic novel about the whole subject of Japanese internment camps that's by George Takei. It's called They Called Us Enemy. It's also banned in a lot of American schools because it, funnily enough, covers subjects that the US government doesn't like, especially Republicans who constantly pull books from schools. It's an important read, and I recommend you read it. But if nothing else, read up about the Japanese internment camps and read up about how terrible it is that they are reusing those camps for ICE internment centers. Genuinely, we've learned nothing from history. NC County Elections Chair accused of putting cocaine, MDMA in granddaughter's ice cream. The chairman of Surrey County Board of Elections was charged after Wilmington police said they found evidence he placed illegal narcotics in his granddaughter's and her friend's ice cream. What the fuck is that? Once again, we don't need satirical news sites to create crazy and outlandish news articles anymore, because these are real things happening. Also, a politician drugging underage girls? Crazy. I wonder what party he's a member of. Oh, surprise, surprise, Republican chair of the Surrey County Board of Elections, James Edwin Yoakley Jr., stepped down Thursday. So yeah, he was a Republican. Surprise, surprise, nobody's surprised. He was a Republican. Again, it's Republicans, the party of family values and protecting children, the minute you actually look at any of their politicians. Reuters stopped sharing Gaza locations with Israel after IDF strikes killed so many journalists. A Reuters cameraman who regularly operated its live position on the roof of Nasser Hospital was one of 5 journalists among 22 people killed in Israel strikes on the facility Monday. Obligatory Israel. But how crazy is it that 5 fucking newspapers and journalist articles have to stop disclosing the fact that there are journalists because Israel keeps killing the journalists? And on top of that, countries like the United States are still funding Israel and still have people convinced that they're the good guys, because neutral journalists traveling to countries to go, let's have an objective look at this war and see how this is affecting people, are being murdered by a genocidal force pushing into another country. Again, you don't need satirical news anymore, because we had to stop disclosing the location of journalists after a country committing war crimes kept killing them. Just completely blows any satirical news articles out of the water. And the final post. ZOEY Hamburger leaves McDonald's UK as successor named. Now, I was going to make a joke about this. I was going to say, you can't let this happen. There's no way that ZOEY Hamburger can leave McDonald's and have a successor unless that successor is called like Patty or like McCheese or something, right? I was gonna make that joke. And then I read further down the article, and her successor is called fucking Patrick. He's literally he's literally called Patty. It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. The successor of McDonald's UK, who was called Burger, who was called Hamburger, is being succeeded by Patty. That's it. The news is finished. No more news. Every news article can close. We don't need any more news. It's done. News is over. Oh, but that is where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. What the f? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below. Or equally, you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are on screen right now, and it genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. If you would like to support the channel, then please do. You get an extra video every single week, and it costs you £1 a month, which equates to about 25p per video, and it really helps support the channel. So thank you to everybody that does do that. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.